Right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Recording from now on. Oos. It's a sunny day, and you're in the vehicle that everyone wants to see on a sunny day. You're in an ice cream van. What have you been thinking about today?
Personally, first thing on my mind was when I woke up was the England game, to be totally honest with you.
And that's later on today.
That's at 9 o'clock, which does suit me handy because usually I can't watch a lot of the games. It's quite an unsociable industry. But what keeps me in the industry is I do enjoy my job, so making people happy. I mean, being an ice cream man, it can be very, very unsociable. When everyone has their day off, when it is sunny and you can relax, we unfortunately have to work. But putting smiles on people's faces, that's what it's all about.
Well, that's good. So it sounds like you've been in it. Sounds like you've been in it a while. You've experienced it. How long have you been?
I served my first ice cream when I was 9 years old at the Cricketers Gate, which was just up there.
And we're in Vicky Park, so you're pointing across the park.
Yeah, we're currently at the Gore Gate, but when I first started, it was an old scoop van. My dad's Bedford CF, a 1976 Bedford CF.
9 years old.
Yeah, and I mean,
do you remember that first scoop?
Do you know what? I don't remember the actual scoop, but what I do remember is using a little stool so I could be able to reach into the freezer to actually scoop the ice cream.
Nice.
That I do remember.
Sweet.
What ice cream I scooped and how it came out, I don't remember.
Yeah.
That I don't. I mean, I've served millions of ice cream from since then, so.
So right from childhood, this has been part of it. Has it been the backbone of your life? Would you say it's been the backbone
I'd say it'd be probably the backbone, not just of my life, probably my family's life, to be fair. Yeah.
So this is something you inherited from your dad?
Yeah.
And your mum, or just your dad?
My mum did help also. I mean, my mum and dad were actually market traders to start off with. When in the 80s and in between the 80s and the late 70s, early 80s, I would say, up until the 90s, they were market traders. When the market industry was pretty good, and then obviously I was born and my dad's obviously the market industry was dying out, and he thought, let me try and become an ice cream man, and he bought the Bedford CF that I said, and he had that. But
so for him, it was like a business stroke entrepreneurial choice. It's like this is a better business model than market trading.
Well, yes. Well, he actually started when he first come over, and he only did it for a few months. He worked in the clothes factory, which used to make the clothes for obviously the market traders.
Got you. And this was a time when the textile industry was different from now.
A lot different.
Because then we made the clothes in this
the
area.
UK. In the East End especially as well. There was a lot of in Hackney and stuff, Bethnal Green. There was loads.
Is that like 70s? 60s,
70s, and my mum and dad said sort of by the mid 80s it had died out, and what happened then, the textile companies were then becoming market traders themselves because a lot of people weren't buying the textiles from them. So that's when the textile companies then started, and it kind of, my dad said, like, we would go and say buy this item for £15, for £10 example, to sell it for £12.
Yeah.
And then you would get the textile company we bought it off, come and sell it for the price we was buying it off them for, so we couldn't make any money.
Right. So you almost shut you out.
100%. That's kind of what from what I've been told. But
so then your parents have to do a quick kind of like about turn. They have to pivot and find another way of making money.
That's correct. Yeah, my dad became an ice cream man. My mum, as far as I'm aware, was working part-time because obviously by then my brother was born as well.
Yeah.
So there was two of us. So I believe my mum was only sort of helping my dad working part-time. And then in the end, I was 14 when I was running vans myself.
That's early.
Yeah, I wasn't driving them. I was going to
My
dad would actually. This is why I got to give a lot of credit to my dad. Just the extent he went to run his business. He knew I didn't have my license.
Yeah.
I wasn't legal enough to have a license. He would drive me in the van, drop me off. At that time, it was the Paul's Playground, the Splash, and then
just on the other side of the park.
Just on the other side, on the west, the west side. And then we'd have a fold-up bike, like a chopper type fold-up bike. He would then
choppers. I remember choppers.
And he would cycle back to the ice cream yard where his van was, pick up his van, and then go work.
So, he had confidence in giving you that responsibility. 14 years old, been in charge of a little bit of the business, been in the vehicle, handling customers. He must have known that you could do it.
I mean,
or did you learn as you went along?
I did learn. I mean, I learned from the sort of the weekends I would go from a young age when I was 12, 13, and it wasn't necessarily, it was the work. I would go there, and the first thing I found out was everyone's vans needed cleaning, sweeping, floors mopping.
Right.
So I offered all the ice cream, and then they was all sitting in the cafeteria a bit, having a cup of tea and a coffee and a cigarette, whatever. And I'd be like, "Oh, if your van's need cleaning, I'll clean my dad's. I'll clean yours."
Yeah. So that's a little bit of extra
An incentive.
pocket money.
So I used to make around, not a lot, maybe £10 to £15 in the morning, just a couple of quid of each van, just by cleaning their vans. And I was like, right, this is good. I'm making money before I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
And
the businessman in you is already coming out.
I mean, my mum and dad always said you've always been like a little deal boy, wheeling and dealer. I mean, I would finish school, go and get all my old DVDs, cassettes, knock on doors, on my neighbours' doors, and see if they wanted to buy any. Yeah. I just was very interested in making my own money from a young age. I mean, there was pros and cons to it. I could have educated myself a bit more, i.e. in the education system. But I already felt like I had a bit of a leverage, i.e. from my dad, and I thought it was a good opportunity. And I've left the business a few times in my older adult life.
That's interesting.
But not for a very short period, because...
Well, you've been tempted. Has it been a pull factor or a push factor that's taken you out and said, I'm going to try something else, and then you come back again?
I think it's been more of a push factor to a certain degree. COVID was one of them.
Yeah.
That was one of them. Another push factor was...
Is that because the ice cream business had to stop dead?
Well, we couldn't trade at our licensed pitches during COVID because the country was in lockdown.
Yeah.
However, our license agreements, we still have a contract and have to pay a monthly rent.
Oh, blimey.
On top of the electric.
And it was always this case during COVID that the landlords or the people who
talked to the government.
Yeah, they never stopped
supported
what they were doing. No. They never took less money.
They could have put it on hold and been like, look, we can't even trade. By law, we can't trade.
Yeah.
It's different if we're choosing not to trade because of the virus, let's say.
Yeah.
However, that wasn't the case. I would have been happy to been trading throughout and just took the precautions like we did when we was allowed to trade. We still had to do all the precautions.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the push factors for me, was COVID. Another push factor, I think it was just more of an age thing, to be honest with you. It was more so regarding, I was going in a point of life where I felt like I was missing out. All my friends were going on summer holidays to here for a party or there, and I was missing out on all of that summer.
And was that literally because your hours of work do not allow that?
I mean, if I took, people say, oh, it's only like a weekend break, like 4 nights in Spain or whatever.
Yeah.
That holiday will cost me a fortune. It's a seasonal job. If you don't take advantage of that seasonal job, I will have to then work throughout the whole of the winter as well. And that doesn't justify me sacrificing my whole summer to then having to go and work in the winter as well.
And also, there's always a benefit to a winter holiday.
Well, this is when, as I got older...
When it's grim here...
As I got older, I was like, right, October's here, and I can go away for 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like... But when you're young, it was my mindset. So there, I would say, were the two push factors. There was nothing pulling me away. I love this job. I always have. It's been in my blood. I enjoy making the ice cream. I know the ins and outs of the industry because I'm enthusiastic about my job.
Yeah.
But I never feel like anything will pull me. I don't, even now, even a better paid job, it would be very hard to pull me away because of how much I love the job.
That's interesting. That's great, though. You're lucky.
Yeah.
How many people say that?
That's the thing. I am quite lucky, but it took me a long time to realise that. A long time.
That is a good point. Do you know what? I did another recording with another gentleman who worked in bars, and he made this point. He said, I achieved everything I wanted, and I realised I wasn't happy. So he got to all his goals in his life that he set himself, and he was like, I'm unhappy. This didn't actually give me what I wanted. Whereas somehow you've maintained a happiness and a contentment with the work that you do, and you still link to it, and you don't feel frustrated by it.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, there is going to be a time. I mean, especially now, I've got a newborn child. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So I mean, this is where the factor comes in. And I always said this while I've been in this industry. If I never had any children, I'll probably be doing this job till I'm about 80. And you'd probably have to bury me in the freezers.
But you'd come out in the ice cream machine.
Yeah, I told you somehow that I'm not working. However, now I've got a child. Now I know the sacrifices my dad made by being in this industry.
Yeah.
We didn't really. I mean, there was one summer holiday. He said me, my mum, and my brother are on holiday, and he was like, right, because like I said, it's an industry where you can't really sacrifice the summer. They are your main moments to make.
You know what? That's interesting. I hadn't thought about the seasonal nature of it. I just hadn't considered it. So in the winter time, do you do another job, or you just live on the profits that you've made in the summer?
I tend to work as hard as I can in the summer, so I don't have to work. However, last winter, obviously, when I worked, I mean, again, I work for myself.
Yeah.
Again, within the catering industry, just not ice cream, because I don't know who's going to eat ice cream in December.
Yeah.
But I was over at Winter Wonderland.
Okay.
Over there. I mean, I wouldn't do it again. Again, the reason why I did that, I had a baby due, so I wanted to make some extra funds for the baby. and to relieve a bit of stress, financial stress.
Yeah.
But I personally wouldn't ever choose to work in winter because I know myself, I put enough hours and days in the summer period. From April to October. I start in March.
Right.
Sometimes I start end of February.
Yeah.
So if I don't make enough throughout that period, this isn't, and I've done it for so many years and it's kept me afloat. So I won't go and work in winter unless I have to. I'm not shy to work, but I personally believe I need to give myself some quality of life, my family. So when it does come to winter, I want to give them my time. Now having a newborn, it's a bigger factor where I don't even know if I want to be in this industry. I love what I do, however, I know, like I said, my dad didn't give us any time, not because he didn't want to, it was the job he did.
He couldn't.
And
Yeah.
I mean, he would send us on summer holidays, and there was one year he generally couldn't stay away from us. He was there within after 4 days. My dad turned up at the beach and I was like, oh, why are you not working?
And he was like, I just needed to see you.
I couldn't be away from my family.
No, that's lovely.
That's literally what he said.
That's great.
Then we kind of changed it. We would go away more. My dad then was like, right, he would look at the weather forecast, for example, be like, let me take you to Butlins. You know, we'd then go away in the UK.
Yeah.
And then the UK holidays got quite expensive, and well, everything changes. But for me, I don't think this is going to be an industry that I will be in for longer than 5 years.
How long until your little one gets put in the van?
Well, she was in the van the other week. She's only coming up to 5 months old, and she did have.
Was she up at the window?
Yeah, she was sitting here. I give her a little dab of ice cream on her lips. I mean, but I mean, to be honest with you, the industry itself is getting very, very tough. My dad left me a great sort of pass on wealth-wise in business, so I handed it down to us.
So he was quite. So it's interesting you say that, because quite often you hear that the hand down is the point where things go wrong. People are good at running a business, but the hand down is where problems occur when the next generation is either not prepared or is not given it full control, etc. But your dad did a sort of proper right, now it's yours.
He didn't kind of hand it over. It kind of just happened in motion.
Yeah.
There's nothing been said or spoken about it, to be fair.
Yeah.
We class it just as a family business, regardless. But it's just reality. My dad's now coming up to 60s in the 60s, so. Yeah. And he can't, for example, he couldn't do a busy weekend bank holiday here at Victoria Park, and to do, with the foot flow and with how busy it is, he wouldn't manage. He would need 2 days off after, just because of his physical health. You know, that's normal. Yeah. It's a very intense job. People think I was serving ice cream. It is sometimes 9-10 hours non-stop.
Right.
And that's without a toilet break.
Right. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes if
I didn't even think about that. If you're the only person in the van.
Well, this is the thing. So when my dad, I always helped my dad, and then when we got 2 vans, my brother would then come and help one of us. Now, I did it when I first started about 7 years ago on my own here, and it was getting quite busy. I realised that an extra hand, it weren't more so for me to go to the toilet, it was more so for the take-ins.
Yeah.
Your income, as in what you would take. And it does, you're better off paying someone a little bit, because in the long run you make more. So I always have someone, we've always got 2 staff every weekend, which with no ice cream van very rarely has it necessarily at a big major festival.
Right, okay.
But I've implemented that regardless.
And it makes sense business-wise.
It makes a difference. I'd rather pay someone a daily wage because I know it will bring me more income, and also it relieves a bit of stress of each other.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, when you're working in this, it can be a stressful industry. I mean, everyone's very happy. Usually 99.9% of people are happy with an ice cream.
Yeah. Because
it's an ice cream.
Yeah,
but all it takes is for you to be a bit of under pressure, which I've found myself in and seen other people in this industry. And you can just act different. You know, you can come across rude, blunt, sharp. And all it takes is 5-10 minutes for you to just get out, have a toilet break, have a water, have something to eat, and then you're back at you're refreshed again.
I think we all learn that, don't we, as we go through life, is when we're ratty with other people, when we're short with them. I've got a 5-year-old. The other day I was short with her, and I realised, I apologised to her afterwards, because it was the mood that I was in. I think we all realise when we think back, actually, it was me. It wasn't the other person as to why things are not working. Now, you said, just before, when I first said hello and said, how about doing this podcast, you immediately said, I've been thinking about this. I'm interested in podcasts. I do little clips and stuff like that. Is that part of the business? Is growing the business a new thing that social media can play a part in, or is that separate from it?
No, 100%. I mean, I have had the social media page for for many, many years. But I didn't have a lot of followers either, to be honest. It was quite small. And then during COVID, again, as we go back, when they suspended our licenses, I decided to come up with an idea of...
I'm just going to step away while these gentlemen get their ice cream.
Brother, you good? No, brother, I'm going to need a tissue, brother. How you keeping, brother? You good? You good? You are?
Those guys are the security, are they? Is that what they
park
do?
Rangers.
Park rangers.
Yeah.
What do the park rangers do? Because they're not to do with the grounds, but they kind of go around in that electric van.
They make sure there's no antisocial behaviour and stuff.
Right. So they're just like a presence.
Yeah. I mean, they're very friendly. If anyone needs help, directions and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, they're pretty good. They're good. They're good guys. I've been working in this park. Like I said, I was working outside. Then there wasn't licensed trading. We was working outside, but we've been inside since 2011. But going back to the podcast situation, so yeah, I mean with the social media page, when I during COVID, I thought let's come up with an idea of we can't go out and people are locked down, people are in their houses. I wanted to start up a delivery service.
That's a good idea.
So what I did was I started using the social media platform, started doing it locally first, just in East London, in Bow, Poplar, Iron Stocks, Bethnal Green.
Yeah. And that was you going in the van to residential streets, turning on the ringer thing?
No. What I was doing is I was just I advertised it on our platform that we ran a delivery service.
Yeah.
I bought a mobile phone. That's our delivery number. I made a menu. I was doing hot stuff, so waffles and stuff like that. With ice cream.
So you spread it out.
I spread it out.
Right.
So because and I started delivery service from 5 p.m. in the evening up to 10, 11 p.m. And it grew. And in the end, we had 2 vans out doing deliveries.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we had both of
Well
vans.
done you. That's really impressive.
I mean, we had no income, no source of income during COVID, zero, because this is our only income.
There were no grants. There were no,
we had the grants. However, that wasn't until mid-2020. So COVID-19 hit, and we lost our whole season, but we had to pay our whole yearly rent and electric here. So
there was a year lag before you got
anything, and we put this aside. Our license rent anyway.
Yeah.
We also got homes to run. We also got bills to pay. Rent, shopping. Yeah. So that was an extra thing. So I was like, and my dad was really stressing. My dad also, thankfully he's okay now, but he also had 2 heart attacks within that period. It was quite stressful.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So
that's tough.
Because
that would play on his mind too.
I mean, there was a lot of stress. So since then, I mean, he's brilliant, thank God. But
so that started the whole social media thing. You got a following through that new business that you created, and it kind of you kept it. I kept it going since then.
I kind of kept on it. I mean, we stopped the delivery service. A lot of people still, up until this day, still ask if we do it and why we don't. However, we're far too busy on our license pitches to be able to just be driving around.
Yeah.
And we pay a rent here, which needs to be covered, so we have to be here. But
so the pitches that you've got, this is a big park. There are often 3 or maybe 4 vans in different points.
4 licensed pitches.
4 licensed pitches.
Yeah.
And you pay for a whole season, or you pay for days?
It's monthly. We pay monthly fee from April to October.
And you always have the same pitch, and you know the other vendors.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're the longest traders here. We've been here the longest.
Right.
So I know the old vendors that are retired.
Yeah.
I know the present ones.
Yeah.
And I've probably got an inkling of the future ones, but that's a complete different story because there is a lot of corruption that goes on with Tower Hamlets, and that's another thing.
Right.
Why I wanted to get on podcast, because I don't think people understand a lot about this industry. And a lot of the older generation are in it, they're not really down with social media and podcasts. They probably don't even know what. If I said to my dad, a podcast, he'd be like, what are you on about?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have a clue. He's from a complete different generation.
Yeah.
But for people to have an understanding, because people have an understanding, nothing people have an understanding about ice cream vans. It's a cheap business industry, easy to get into, and just quick money, like dodgy money. It's far from it.
You just turn up with the van
and
dole out the ice creams, and it's profit all the way.
If it was that easy, there would be a lot of successful ice cream then.
Right. So what are the pressures and what are the challenges of this business?
First of all, to get a good licensed pitch, you need a ULEZ compliant van. An ice cream van prices, again, since COVID, and I don't know why COVID has such an effect on this industry.
Yeah.
Example, this van before COVID was 70k, for example.
70k, new?
Brand new.
Right.
Now you're looking at about 90, 95. For what reason, I don't know. It's aged.
Sorry, I'm going to stand aside for someone to have an ice cream.
Can I please get
you mind if I just keep recording while you order your ice cream? No, just.
Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
May I ask, did you just, are you here for this ice cream just because you saw it, or did you come because it's a destination you know?
I know it's on the way back from my run.
Right,
And
so
I was
this is a
thinking
regular.
If I make myself run today,
You deserve
I
it.
will get an ice lolly on
Running
the
for
way
an
back.
ice cream, that's the best way of running.
Good
Right?
incentive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya. So, where were we? Oh, there's somebody else.
Does your ice cream have egg in it?
No.
No? Okay, you want one? Let me pick you up and you can choose one then.
This is a very small ice cream eater has just arrived.
What one? You want a little one of them? Yeah? Just a really, really little. No. That's enough, yeah. Yeah? Thank you very much. Say thank you.
You're not going to stretch to one yourself, Mum?
No, I'm alright.
Oh, that's very generous. I don't think I could do that. Buy someone else an ice cream and not get one for myself. So the vans are expensive, have gone up in price. So that's a bottom line kind of cost.
Like an old full transit, say an X-Ridge van, which is pretty old. You probably won't find one, a half decent one, that will last you a season without having issues with the freezers and the machine.
Yeah.
For less than 25,000. I mean, that's how much people think that these vans are.
Yeah.
Ones that you need to get into festivals, because you need to meet certain ultra low emission compliancy.
Yeah.
It's all ticking boxes. That's a different story. I had an older van which made me just as much money as this new van, and probably smelt less emission than my old van.
Right.
That's the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
However, this is the law, and I have to abide by it.
Got you. So there's the regulations.
So to keep up with the regulations, it's got very hard. When they put the ULEZ in, it was good for people that could financially stay in a business. Thankfully, like our family business, but it did get a lot of people out of the
So
business.
it knocked some people out.
Loads. When that ULEZ thing hit, that was a big hit. I can
Because
honestly say.
I remember there was some very angry people when that came in, depending on their business.
Yes, and there was a lot of like elder, people that have been in the industry for 50 odd years, and they've had their van and they've had it serviced. It's immaculate.
Yeah.
It's just an older number plate, an older.
Yeah.
And they had to leave because they financially, they was doing it just as a retirement job, and they had to sell up. And it was quite sad to see a lot of the old boys go out the industry.
Yeah. Especially when you get pushed out rather than step out.
On
It
their
makes
own-
a big difference.
Yeah, and they've done it all their life, and they're being pushed out by a law,
Yeah.
which is, everyone's got their own opinions about it, but it was a bit horrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, another thing which is really hard for this industry again is people not willing. If people think, oh yeah, I know a lot of people that have become an ice cream man. I've seen them this year or the year before, and come and gone. I'm like, well, you know what? Oh, I sold my van because you have to have a lot of discipline to give up your summer, to work 7 days, to be up at 8 o'clock, to be willing to go home and not see your family until 10:30, 11 at night.
That's
my
late.
job doesn't finish here when I leave. We have to go back to the yard. I have to flush this machine, sterilise it. It's milk. Can't leave it overnight.
Yeah.
It'll be off, and then all my customers will be, I'm a licensed trader.
Yeah.
I have to be.
So there's a lot of food standards that goes on.
A lot of food, especially because I'm a licensed trader. If I was a legal trader, it doesn't bother me because I might never have to go back to that place again. I can go somewhere else. But I'm here 7 days, so I have to have a high standard with my hygiene, with my regulations, with my standard of quality of ice cream. That all comes into why I've lasted so long in this business, because I put a lot of pressure on myself to be that high standard.
Yeah, so you have to be really dedicated yourself
100%.
and you have to be committed, and you're saying that some people don't realise what that commitment means, and they're just like, I'm not going to do this
They think-
more than one season.
Because they come and they're like, oh, it's a hot day, 30 degrees, I'll go
Yeah.
out, and they'll make £1,000,
Yeah.
£800, they'll be like, oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't have to work for 2 days.
Yeah.
But you're forgetting that there's 4 months on the other end of this season that you need to pay your bills, your gas, your electric, your shopping, you feed your family. So you've got to take a lot into consideration. So like I said, there's a lot of sacrifices that I don't think people know before they get into the industry, and that's why I think that is one of the main reasons. So once you've got your van, unless the only reason you won't last is if you haven't thought it through, you need to sign secure pitches and you need to put the dedication of hard work in. That's the two main things.
The thing that people say to me in terms of running your own business, it doesn't matter what business it is they say, people told me it was going to be 100% commitment. It's actually 110% commitment.
It is.
It's always more than you think running your own business.
100%. I mean, the amount of times I've finished work and I'll go home, and I'm constantly, my brain is constantly sort of thinking about whether it's with this ice cream man, whether it's with expanding, whether it's in something else. I'm constantly, my mind doesn't stop. I can go home, and sometimes I have to tell myself I have to lock off, because it can get a bit much where it takes over your presence, like family life, and that's unhealthy.
You've got another customer. I'm going to stand aside. You mentioned bad practices. You mentioned bad practices, like you mentioned Tower Hamlets corruption. Did you say that?
Oh yes.
Do you want to get into that or not?
To be honest with you, I don't really want to get into it. However, I will touch base on it.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that should be hidden. However, I don't believe in bad practices, especially when it comes from government organisations who are meant to be putting a good example, let's say. Now, I'm not going to say who or what, but there is many cases within Tower Hamlets Borough. I mean, within any, not just Tower Hamlets, I believe within any government organisation, wherever there is money floating about, there is corruption. Whether it's in the UK, another country, I just believe that is part of life. But that doesn't mean that people should become victims of it and stay quiet. Now, there's been many times where, like I said, we've been the longest traders within the park, but that hasn't been because Tower Hamlets have wanted us to be. That has been because we've fought our way through it. We've been to 2 ombudsman cases regarding Tower Hamlets.
Really?
Yeah, won both cases.
So you fought it when you've come up against a challenge. You're like, we're not going to take this.
We're going to get the people sitting in the council. They're getting brown envelopes or whatever, or favouritism.
Yeah,
that's fine because they get their monthly wage. But I don't think they realise this is our living. And when you take bread out of someone's mouth, if they just back down, that means they've got another source of income or they've got other opportunities. If this is their only source of income, they're not going to back down. You wouldn't back down and leave your family not to eat. It's that simple. So we fought, and like I said, I'll be honest, they were probably one of the most stressful parts of being in this industry. There has been another case, going back further back, that was a bit more stressful, but I don't really want to touch on that at the moment. But in regards to Tower Hamlets, so we haven't got these licenses for life. They go up for tenders. Every 4 years, they'll go up for a tender.
How do you pitch for that tender? Do you just state the facts, or do you have to go further than stating the facts?
It's a procurement process.
Right.
It's led by Pro Contracts. Due to all the corruption that's happened in the past, they've now got a sub company that deal with the procurement process.
Right.
Before Tower Hamlets deal with it.
Right.
Which has made the process extremely long. Right. However, there's still a lot of errors within it. I know loads of errors that have happened within the industry. Now, there's a lot of the time, the problem is Tower Hamlets have lost out a lot of money. Now, I went to a committee meeting at the town hall before this season started, and the mayor, he openly said that we need to squeeze as much funds out of all our public parks and spaces. So they do not care now.
That is a known fact that the council in this borough, probably like the council everywhere, they're short of cash and they're trying to maximise everything they can.
Why are they short of cash? It's not because people that have got the licence not paying their rent. It's due to the corruption, and I will tell you why. If it's not someone even taking the backhand of the corruption, it's people that have had these pitches that are not meant to have had the pitches, have not paid their rent because they're not proper business owners, they're crafty people. Now, there's one pitch in Victoria Park that's been empty, which is my old pitch. I lost it to this person for 5 years. Now that's 5 years of rent that Tower Hamlets have lost due to their they didn't do their due diligence properly. It's that simple.
Right.
This person had a tender previously in the park, and the same issue opened. He didn't pay his rent. The enforcement officer then come and removed him from the park and confiscated his van.
Oh my lord!
That's
serious.
This same person, then, because he was illegal street trading outside. This same person then got another contract within the park. And he didn't pay, and guess what? The contract, they can't put it back out for contract because all these contracts are done as a whole. So the council have now lost on 5 years' worth of rent because of someone, favouritism, whoever this person is, that's already done use over for it before.
That doesn't seem to make sense at all, because for a council that needs to get cash, they're losing cash because of bad practice.
Of course. And again, no, it doesn't surprise me because the mayor of Tower Hamlets, who also got done for corruption, is now in power. So, you know, nothing surprises me.
Well, you're not afraid to call it out. I mean, it's.
That's how we got to be. I mean, listen, like, what people. I'm an honest person, and I don't believe. I've never done anything dodgy within the business. I do everything by the books, regardless of what it is. Because if you don't, you get caught out. You might think you're trying to save yourself a pound note or trying to be a bit wise, but you will get caught out in the long run.
So shortcuts don't work.
Especially not in
In
business.
your experience.
Especially in business and work ethic. I've tried to cut certain corners within this industry, I can say, and I've known that it's not worth it because I've had to pay double in the long run for a simple thing. I can give you a little example. A machine part broke, and I didn't go and get the original. I went and got a copy off Amazon or eBay.
Right.
I ended up changing that same part five times in one season. Yet if I'd have bought the original, it would probably last me 5 years.
Yeah.
But I decided, let me take a shortcut.
Good example.
And you know, I ended up paying more than what it should have intentionally the first time round.
Yeah.
So I've learned, even, you know, I've tried to take shortcuts in certain areas, and it's never benefited me. So, but when it comes to the shortcuts and the way that some of the councils practice things, the way they practice things, I'm completely disagree with. They that have never worked a day in the catering industry, yet they want to set all the standards. I don't understand how.
Oh, there's some more customs. I'm going to stand to the side.
Can I please get a tasty orange honey, please? Have you seen these ones? Look, a marshmallow cone. I know. Helpful. No, I'm all right, thank you. Card. No problem. Have a great day.
The thing about your business, which is unusual compared to many businesses, is everyone associates it with happiness.
Yeah.
From childhood onwards, an ice cream van is an emblem of a hot summer's day.
It's part of British culture.
It is part of British culture.
I mean, this is another thing. What makes it's actually one of, when you look at British culture, especially say, so ice cream vans itself it does originate from UK. People say
does
America.
it?
Yeah. People say America. America now was the Mr. Softy. There was the Mr. Softy, and they come up with the soft whip in the vans.
Right.
But an actual ice cream van is British culture. It goes back to 1930s, 40s when they start. You had Whitby and Cummins, Whitby Morrison and Cummins.
Right.
They started coach building. It was a coach building company that made the vans. But before the vans, you had the ice cream carts in the UK.
What, horse and cart?
No, just like a trailer
Hand cart?
cart. Yes, like a hand cart.
With an ice box?
With like an icebox freezer, and they would do the scoop and the lollies and stuff.
Ah.
And then obviously vans come in, modernised, as everything did. But this is one of the industries that they've tried so many different rules and regulations, not just within London either. It starts off always within London because we are the major capital, but even in Birmingham, I know traders there. In Manchester, they've implemented so many rules to try and. Now, if you look back into the 1980s, I read a stat. I believe across the whole of the UK there was over 68,000 ice cream traders.
68,000?
In the 80s.
That is enormous.
Yes. However, we are now down by the ICA group, which is like an ice cream alliance committee where we get all our insurance, our public liability. It's like
that's your,
it's like
your
our
union. Yeah.
That's it. Hit the nail on it. It's like our union. Obviously, so everyone there is more, but that's what's signed up to union. We are now down to around 8,400.
68 to 8.
Because it's a dying industry. And it's a shame because it's part of British culture. Like I'll give another part. You've got pie mash. That's another industry that I feel like is, especially within London, that's lasted. Pubs is another industry that's a dying trade, but it's part of British culture.
Yeah.
An ice cream van, and it is part of British culture. I believe when there's a day where there's no ice cream vans in Britain, it's going to be a very, very sad day. And that's whether I'm here. I hope I never get to see the day because I think I would be very angry. But they've tried it. I mean, Camden now is a no ice cream. You won't see an ice cream van in Camden Council.
What?
No ice cream vans allowed. They've banned it. That was before the ULEZ come in. It was before the emission. This is since 2000.
No ice cream vans?
This is 2018. No ice cream van, no licences issued at all in by the Borough of
I
Camden.
never knew that.
Yeah. It's a no ice cream van zone. They've got signs up. Same as here. If I didn't put the electric on, now I'm running off electric, my van's not on now.
Yeah.
There's no engine running. I wouldn't be able to trade here.
Right.
So we've now had to go and fit electric, which cost us another £10,000 to £12,000 to get put on.
Wow.
So someone that hasn't got that money, you know, again, it's not.
It's just going to
little bit
sell
of money. They have no choice but to sell up.
Yeah.
So it pushes people out of the industry. And then what they'll do, they'll sell this van to someone in Birmingham, in Manchester, where they haven't got them regulations.
Yeah.
And that van will carry on. But now them regulations are moving further up north. So it's going to become a time where, unless we're all electric, and now an all-electric van completely now is, you're looking at about 150,000 plus VAT. So near on 200k for a van. That is an awful lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Now, I spoke to my dad about this 2 days ago, because we know someone that has actually got one recently.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, there's another customer coming.
Sorry.
Hiya.
Hey, can I just get a single with a flake, please?
Would you like any sauce on that?
Yeah.
Strawberry, chocolate, bubblegum, raspberry, lime.
Raspberry, please.
Can I just ask, was this a destination for you, or did you just
No,
see
I'm
it and
just
thought,
cycling home from work. It's hot, so I thought I'd have one when I lie back home.
nice? You're gonna cycle one-handed with the ice cream in one.
I'm gonna try. Anyway, yeah. Thank
Good luck.
you. Come on, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks so much. Thanks, and you.
So
The phrase you use about a dying industry is an interesting one, because that must also play on your mind.
100%. I mean, what was surprising, now, I see a lot of new people, youngsters, that come into the industry in the past 1 or 2 years. But again, I'm not going to be honest. I don't see anyone as competition in this industry. Never have, never will. My only competition is myself,
Right.
and my customers.
So that's your personal way of seeing the business.
Yeah, anyone else in the industry, I mean, a lot of people feel like everyone else in the industry is a threat to them, an enemy.
Yeah.
I don't see it like that. If an ice cream man, the guy up there or out there, many times have run out of stock, I will then go and I will give them, if they needed stock or whatever, I'll help people out. We shouldn't see people in this industry as our enemies. Reason being, it's like I say, it's a dying industry. And when we see an influx the last 2 years of new young bods coming into the industry, a lot of people were like, oh my God, I've seen this new van in my area. I don't get that stress because I'm licensed here, but I'm talking about the ones on the streets.
Yeah.
So they're stressing. I'm like, I kind of like it. Not in a bad way, because it means that there's people that are still interested in coming into the industry. It's not completely dying out.
Well, that's personally being very generous, because usually in broad terms, within the capitalist system, competition is what it's all about. You compete and therefore you get better in simplistic terms. But it's good. It's interesting that you're just like, we need to support each other because we're all in this together.
Well, the way I look at it, if you work hard enough, you shouldn't be worried about other people's business. You should be worried. If your business isn't making enough, you should be concentrating on your own business, not on other people's. Other people's business should never affect your own. Now, like I said, there was over 60,000 ice cream men when they done it in the 80s.
Yeah.
And now there's less. So if people back then were all making a tidy profit and feeding their families, why are you so worried about it now when there's much more less people within the industry? It's less threat now. But it's a big problem if there's going to be none, because that means the industry will die. So a few more people joining the industry every year, I think is healthy. If I see an ice cream van, I will without fail buy an ice cream. I don't care who it is, I will buy an ice cream. I will support the business industry. Some people go and be like, oh, I wonder how much their prices are. I don't care. You're in the industry, we're all in the same boat, let's support each other. That's the way I look at it.
That sounds very positive. That sounds like a very positive note to end on, in a way, because we've talked about a lot of challenges, we've talked about the pressures you're under. So, do you reckon, looking to the future, you're still going to be, will I still find your van here in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years? Do you reckon,
I'm hoping so. I'm very hoping so. Whether it'll be myself, that I can't promise and I can't guarantee, because
Might be the little one.
Sorry?
Might be the little one.
I mean, yeah, it could be my little one. I mean, it's quite funny. I always said I was never going to be an ice cream man. When I was younger, all my friends were like, oh, look, he's the ice cream man, son. And I was like, I'm never going to be an ice cream man.
Oh, you didn't like the tag as a kid?
Hated it. And I said I'm never going to be an ice cream man. And here I am. I've been doing it all these years, and I wouldn't change a single thing. I wouldn't change my job. I would change maybe some stuff that I'd done personally within the industry, but I wouldn't change my job. And I'm hoping in 5-10 years, Mario will still be in Victoria Park. It's been here the longest.
Is that the name of
Mario,
your van?
yeah, at the front. Mario, that is my dad's sort of name. So it's been here the longest trader in Victoria Park, and I hope it is for many years. If it's not here, I still hope to see Mario's on the road. If I don't, I just hope that I keep seeing ice cream vans on the road.